28th at 1 p.m. Jody, would you please call roll?
Dave Barry.
Here.
Susan Busenbar. Here. Judy Crocker.
I see her.
Kate Hall. Lisa Kanasic.
Here.
Mary Jo Matusik.
Here at Vernon.
Paul Mills.
Here at Coal Valley.
Kathy Parker.
Here in Burr Ridge.
Scott Poynton.
Here.
Dee Reynolds.
Here.
Michelle Simons.
Here.
Laura Turner. Dane Ward. Lori Wilcox. Harriet, I'm not sure.
Zipfel. Harriet.
Zipko. Okay. Kobe. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next is, we'll start with the recognition of guests. We'll start with the guest here in Coal Valley.
Oh, Veranda Pitchford Rails.
Nancy Ashbrook, Silvis.
Carolyn Coulter, Rails.
Dee Brennan, Rails.
Angela Campbell, Rock Island.
Ryan Hebel, Rails.
Mary Wood, Rails.
Debbie Vasky, Rails.
Mark Hatch, Rails.
Jody Rubel, Rails.
Okay. Burr Ridge?
Jim Krieger, Rails.
Emily Feister, Rails.
Rose Chenoweth, Rails.
Anybody in Bolingbrook? East Peoria? Rockford? Illinois State Library?
Go ahead.
Vandella Brown, Illinois State Library.
Greg McCormick.
Pat Bowes.
Pat Berg.
Welcome. Galesburg? And do we have any guests at the Vernon Area Public Library?
No guests here.
Okay. Thank you. Adoption of the agenda. Do you have something to,
Not the agenda.
excuse me, yes. Okay, do I have a motion, a second for the adoption of the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and second. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Opposed, nay?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Motion carried. Now we'll go down to the minutes. You have something to add on it?
Yes, we need to amend the minutes relative to the attendees in Quincy at the September meeting, and I think that Kathy Parker is actually going to make the amendment.
Yes, Dave, I'd like to amend the minutes to include Becky Winter, I'm sorry, Rose Chenoweth, and Dennis Danowski as guests at Quincy. Sorry.
Is there a second?
So moved.
There's a second. All in favor of adopting the minutes as amended? Say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay? Any absentations? Motion carried. Jim, can we have the financial report?
It'd be a pleasure. You have the financial report in your board packet for the month of September. Some of the highlights are our general fund unassigned cash investment balances of $12.2 million would finance apparently approximately 12 and a half months of operations. And then we also have additional funds that were assigned, and our capital projects fund that would, if we had to divert that, would finance an additional 10 months. So we're still at around 22 months. I mentioned under the revenue and expenditures that we were then advised that a portion of our area per capita grant that is federally funded, which is 1.9 million. Should be released in October, and it was, and we received those funds in mid-October. Regarding our expenditures, total expenditures are $272,613 below budget thus far. 125,000 of that are personnel expenditures within the general fund, primarily due to delayed hiring of new staff. There is one staff position that we won't hire for. That was to support the federal grant for digitization. And our variance, and part of that variance was because we hadn't implemented our salary adjustments, the retroactive portion. That was done early October. The e-resources expenditures are almost 115,000 above budget. That is mostly increased group purchasing activities, which is reimbursed, so it has no impact on the bottom line. We implemented a new vendor, Communico, this year for $87,500, and the group purchases for Gale-related projects are also well over budget. I noted contract agreements with system and member libraries expenditures were under in part because we had not made any expenditures for member libraries to join LSAPs. We did make our first expenditures of totaling $39,000 in October, so that program is now going. That is our delivery expenditures were $92,000 under budget thus far, but they didn't include 2 months of bills from Illinois Heartland and a few weeks of bills from Continental Transportation, which would have closed that gap. But fuel costs are well under budget so far this year. Can I answer any questions?
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the financial report for September 2016.
So moved.
Moved. Is there a second?
I'll second. I'll second.
That was Kathy?
Kathy, yep. Kathy won.
I'll take it. I beat it out.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Opposed, nay? Motion carried. Jim, now moving down to approval for expenditures, item 6.3.
Yes, there is a listing of the expenditures at the end of the financial report. It's a listing of the expenditures we made for the month of September. They total $811,230.30. Are there any questions on individual expenditures? Okay.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion for approval of the check voucher register for September 2016 in the amount of $811,000, $811,230.30.
So moved. I'll second in Vernon.
Thank you. Jody, will you call a roll call for this?
Dave Berry,
Yes.
Susan Gusenberg,
Yes.
Judy Crocker, Dave Hall, Lisa Knasick,
Yes.
Mary Jo Matusik,
Yes.
Paul Mills,
Yes.
Kathy Parker,
Yes.
Scott Poynton,
Yes.
Dee Reynolds,
Yes.
Michelle Simon,
Yes.
Laura Turner, Jane Ward, Lori Wilcox, Harriet Zipfel.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
So, Ryan, what's up with Quincy?
I'm working on getting them connected. Well, they're connected, but obviously the mic isn't
They're
working.
muted, or somehow they're... Okay. We know you're out there, Judy. We're working on it.
okay, we'll move down to reports. Item 7.1, report from the Rails president. Dee?
Yes. So you have my written reports. You will notice in the report that I mention a lot of things that we're going to discuss in November. I don't want you to get too worried about the length of the meeting because we're not. A lot of it is just reports. The main discussion point will be we are going to have Eric Penny, who's the architect who's been doing work for the Burr Ridge renovations, come and make a presentation to the board about what is being done. This is mostly about plumbing. Yay, I hear you can speak now, Judy. Yay! Hello. Poor Ryan has his head in his hands. Yeah, that'll be, I think, the big agenda item. But in other, I don't know if you have any questions. We did just have a great week at ILA last week, as I note in here. Attached to my report is the handout from a workshop that Ann Slaughter and I went to at the Chicago Public Library. It's called Design Thinking. And it's a project that Chicago Public Library they got a big grant from the Gates Foundation to do this internally with their staff as they change or design new services. And it's not like it's a revolutionary new concept. It's about looking at what you do, what problem you're trying to solve, how you deliver a service from the customer's point of view. But it is a very good technique in making sure that you really do that in a right way, that you don't get sidetracked by your own assumptions. We think that this is something that, well, we know, because at the workshop we heard that our members are really interested in Rails bringing this to people. And so we want to talk to you a little bit more about that in November. And I think it's useful for all of you to think about in terms of your own libraries as well. Yep, so I don't know, does anybody have any questions?
Thank you for this. This is cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay. Going on to committee reports now. Paul, do you have anything?
Can I do the
I'm sorry.
operation? No, that's all right. I know, they a lot of times they kind of meld together, but I did just want to point out that this is the new streamlined version of the operations report, so hopefully it's still useful to you all. And we did also include we have quarterly consortia committee meetings, and they do, that Paul chairs actually, and that they do written reports, and so the agreement was to share these with you on a quarterly basis, so it's more, what am I trying to say?
Concise?
Yes, concise, that's good, yes. Okay, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Now, Paul, do you have anything to report out of consortia committee?
So actually, if I might put Lisa on the spot, Lisa ably stepped forward to serve as our chair for the committee meeting when we last met because I had a prior engagement. So, Lisa, would you be willing to share?
Wow. It was a great meeting. Actually, I thought it was rather an easy meeting from my end because I just kept handing it over to other people. So there wasn't a whole lot.
You didn't know you were going to have to report on it, though, right?
No.
Good job, Paul. Good job.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't have my notes in front of me, Paul. It was a great day.
That's really all that matters, Lisa.
You know, and everybody's capable of reading the consortial reports that are in the board packet.
Good answer.
Yes.
Bravo.
Very good. Thank you, Lisa. Kathy, do you want to talk about the delivery committee?
Sure. We haven't met in a while, but we are planned to meet on Wednesday in the afternoon. And I'm sure the topic of conversation will be the ILDS contract and any of the issues that have arisen from that. So we'll have a report in November for sure.
Okay, thank you. The executive committee has not met, so there's no report there. Kate?
She's not here.
Kate's not here. Policy committee.
They haven't.
Reporting from London.
They haven't.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
She's in London, yeah.
Oh, I'm next.
Then Kathy, you want to talk about the system membership standards?
Yeah, we haven't had a meeting, obviously. However, we did have a presentation at ILA, and it was sparsely attended, which by our members, which I'm going to take is that everyone's heard of the standards and they're all in agreement. However, I know that's probably not the case. But there were some good questions that had come from some of the audience members, and Deanne Veranda tried to answer those as best we could, given the information that we had. And but I think overall, I'm not hearing a lot of negativity about it. I'm hearing people that are kind of waiting to find out when it's going to start, which I love. And so I think we're ready to go forward. But I know that that's not the case. But we have to still be out there a little more. But I think it's going well. And we'll probably have a committee meeting soonish. I don't know when. Probably in the new year.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now, do you have anything more to add in the executive director report? Did we have it?
Nope.
Okay, what about the
Hey,
rail
Dave.
service and operation? Yes.
Dave, someone is like rattling a lot of paper, and we can barely hear from here. So I don't know who it is at what center, but if they could stop, that'd
I'm
be
sure
great.
it's us. Thank you, Kathy.
Okay,
Thank
it's just
you.
it's really loud. Hopefully it's not us.
Probably me. It's one of the D's.
Okay. That was really loud. It's hard to hear you guys.
Okay, is there anything on the rail service and operations report?
No, and I apologize, I got myself out of order there. Oh, everything's good. We're
Okay.
all, yep,
And quarterly consortial report, we've kind of
yep.
touched on that. Okay, going to the Illinois State Library.
Good afternoon. Greetings from Secretary White and the rest of us here at the State Library this afternoon. My report's going to be very brief. It seems like it was just a short time since we met with you all in Quincy, and we've been really focused on just a few things, but it's taken a lot of energy on our part. So last time we met, we were talking about the budget implementation and what that really meant, and since that time we've been working on finalizing and executing a lot of the final grant agreements and actually issuing payments, of which, as was reported to you today, the library system received the first of their payments for the fiscal year as well. In the meantime, as well, we have been working on and compiling the FY18 budget request. We are in the very beginning phases of that, and we'll be meeting with the Secretary's Executive Office and Budget Office for final introduction of what this may mean for FY18. Sometime in January is typically the time frame. That's a bit interesting because, once again, we find ourselves monitoring final payments from FY16 that have not been cleared. We're beginning the stages of FY17 implementation. We still have many more grant programs to go yet, and a lot of volume of activity, and even final resolution of 17, and we're certainly trying to put some numbers together for what FY18 may bring. We've also begun, and earlier than usual, what we would typically do, because we would normally wait until the third and fourth quarters of the fiscal year, but we have already begun monitoring of in-person monitoring of some literacy and library grant programs. That is something that as a group here with the managers we felt was very important for us to do this year, and that is really going to be the focus of where our travel dollars are expended. So, questions? That's really all I have at the moment.
Well, thank you, Greg. Are there any questions here?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. The next item on the agenda is 8.1, membership changes. It's new business. Miranda.
The comment. So, I'm going to come sit at the table. That's okay.
Please do so.
So, the member application we have today is Flanagan Public Library District. It's a smaller district outside the Bloomington Normal area. We've been working with them for about a year and a half to start their own public library. They've hired a director. I've attended, not only done a site visit there, which is required for any new member we bring before you, even one that is rejoining, but I also attended a board meeting with this and answered questions about Rails and Rails membership. Right now, this community, because they haven't had their grand opening yet, is contracting with Pontiac Public Library for services for their community. I had a conversation with the state library, and it's permissible to bring them forward as a new member, because even though it's contracting libraries can be new members, but they're expecting to open the library very soon. Are there any questions? Yes.
Is this the first new public library that we've had?
In my time, yes, it is the first new public library. So they've gone through the process of taxing, working with the community to tax them. I wanted to talk to them about maybe working with libraries in the area, but they really wanted their own library.
So they were previously served, but they were...
No, they were previously in an unserved area.
Great, well.
And working with, obviously getting non-resident cards from other communities and wanted their own public library.
Great.
Rhonda,
that's my understanding.
You visited the building where the library is going to be?
Mm-hmm. They have books on the they're pretty close to open, but again, their residents are so eager. They're like, we want library service now, because they're paying now.
Right.
And they worked hard to get that tax passed, so those people want service now. There are books on the shelves. It's just as an anecdotal aside, the building was donated by it's a former bank building, but they've done a great job retrofitting it to be a library, save for the vault. That is the director's office. They just had a locksmith in to change the door lock for the vault so that she won't get locked. I actually know the person who's serving as the new director. She's from another member library in the area, and I've actually been at meetings with her, Brittany Bloomquist. Coincidentally, her mom is also a librarian in the area.
She's working at LaSalle Public, right?
Yep. She also worked at Putnam County. She had 2 gigs. So I worked with her quite a bit. Did you have a question?
No.
Okay. Yes, Dave.
How large of a library will it serve?
Of a community?
Yes.
A little over 1,000, 1,100. So yeah.
Do they need materials? How's the collection?
They do. I would say they need materials. They are working now. They've gotten donations from. Before they hired a director, it was a community-driven effort, which has its plus, which is great that there's community support, but understanding how to do it. They were going to go buy books at Barnes and Noble not knowing what else to do. So that's how we've been working with them, connecting them. So, they do need materials. We've recommended that they, first of all, as those patrons, their current patrons, check out from Pontiac to check those CERC reports to see what kind of titles are being checked out. So they can be sure to hone that collection to what people want. And also survey the community, because they just, at the meeting I was at, they were setting hours and talking about programming. So yeah, they do need materials. Because they're not a member yet, she obviously can't be on the director's list, but I think the Rails director's list, she's really a great, and very eager to get engaged. So the director's list is going to be a great resource for her. And Amanda, my colleague Amanda, who's a resource sharing specialist, is already set to do interlibrary loan training with them until they get up to speed. Additionally, I didn't mention, forgive me, they are very eager to join RSA and have a...
It's really great.
Yeah, they already talked to Kendall and have a plan mapped out to do so. To join RSA within the year, not the calendar year, within 12 months.
Such a great success story. I think we should, talk.
They're great. They are in it to win it.
Yeah, especially the unserved aspect.
What was the name of the town?
Flanagan, Illinois, outside of Bloomington Normal.
David.
So you see, was there? Go ahead, Mary Jo.
No, I was just going to make a motion that we approve Flanagan Public Library District as a new member of Rails, and it's closer to Streeter and Pontiac. It's a little further north than Bloomington Normal.
Yeah, well,
it's a great thing for them.
At directions, as everyone at Rails.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion.
Just as a point, if I may, as a point of clarification, the Rails board makes a recommendation to the Illinois State Library.
Yes.
We don't actually vote on libraries becoming members. We make this recommendation with the final decision with the Illinois State Library. I've been working closely with Pat Bowes at the Illinois State Library on this particular case, just to try to preempt any issue. Since this is our first public library since I was born, that we've had, I've been working with Pat Bowes on this.
Okay, very good.
It is. It's great.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Could you repeat the motion?
Sure.
The motion, I'll repeat it,
Go ahead,
Dave.
Mary Jo.
I recommend that, my motion is that we recommend Flanagan Public Library for full membership to the Illinois State Library for full membership.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I think Michelle.
Michelle Simmons, second the motion. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for that clarification, Jody.
Okay, just for the record, any opposed? Motion carries.
So I'll let you guys, thank you. I'll let you, they haven't had the opening day yet, but we'll let you guys know. Should be in November.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The Swan contract.
Yes, thank you. So this, I just wanted to get this contract before you. Our contract with Swan, which is one of the consortia, one of the LSAPs, is changing because they are moving out of the Burr Ridge facility, so that the terms of the financial terms will change. So we'll vote on this in November, but I just wanted you to know that it was coming and to give you an opportunity to ask any questions now, or, it's very, there's no, they're happy with it, we're happy with it. It's just updating because of their changing situation. But we'll vote on it in November, so you have time to look it over if you have any questions.
I do have a few questions.
Yeah, sure.
I was curious on Appendix B.
B?
B is in boy. Number 15. It was curious, two questions about that. This is the first of a couple questions.
Sure.
I was curious, do all the contracts have that the exact same language there for services provided by LSAP? Is that standard language?
Here, this page?
Yes, B.
It is just 15 or all of?
Actually, but 15, do all have 15? And I guess the follow-up question is, do they all have those 1 through 15? You know, Prairie Cat, RSA, Swan.
I don't know. I will say that theirs is different because their staff is separate. So we provide different service, they have their own staff, so they do provide different services to us, and we provide different services to them. I will also say that this is, I think, an updated or new list, and I don't know if Ann is at the board meeting. Ann Slaughter, is she in Burr Ridge?
She's at the consortium.
Oh, she's at the consortium training, so I would have to ask her. But that's exactly why we brought it today, so that if you do have questions, we can go back and get answers. So you're curious about the list in general, but especially 15.
Yeah, I was just curious about this.
Sure.
If it's, common across, or if it's, may or may not be common across all our LSAP contracts. I was also curious why we were promoting, access to a specific format in an LSAP contract. I was curious about the rationale for that.
Okie doke.
My next question was on Appendix C.
Trying not to rattle my paper.
No, it's we don't know if Cathy Parker.
I'm right next. No, well, I'm right next to the microphone. I know how irritating it is. Okay, C, yes.
I noticed that Rail. It starts this is actually all the first sentence. Rail shall pay X amount. I'm curious that Swan has in this appendix not to go below a certain amount. They have a floor. Do all the LSAP contracts have a floor?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the agreement when this 3-year contract was put into place.
Okay.
Yep.
Those were my questions. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. We'll have the answers, and if anybody else has any additional questions, by all means. So, no action is requested at this time.
Okay. And then we'll move down to unfinished business, item 9.1, evaluation of rail services.
Yeah, so you heard a presentation at the last meeting from Rebecca Teasdale, and again, just to remind everyone, this is sort of a challenge that was given to the staff by Dane Ward, actually, who brought up when we were looking at the strategic plan and quarterly reports, he brought up that, and I'm glad that he did, that it would be really good if we could get at the impact of our services. So what we're going to, so this is the beginning of that. And so we're going to actually start by looking at member engagement. And Mary Witt is going to, with me, sort of lead that team, and we'll keep you informed of that and get your input as well. But we just wanted to tell you that that's where we decided to start, because it's probably, it touches everybody, obviously. It affects a lot of us as well. So, and we also, Mary, being a certain kind of person, said it's probably the hardest one, so we should start with that. So stay tuned on that.
And then the next item is board development. D?
There is no board development topic this month, but there will be next month.
Very good. And next...
What's that?
We had lunch.
We had lunch?
Okay, Rails board member reports, item 11. Anyone have anything to add? Contribute?
Dave, I have one thing.
Sure.
I just want to say that I renewed my national board certification for school libraries.
Yay!
I renewed successfully, so I'm quite happy with that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Paul, you had something to say?
Just kind of exciting for us. We have a bid out to add a second outreach vehicle. So that was first bid I've ever written from scratch. So that was exciting. We're looking forward to it. Looking forward to see what comes of that.
Is that a new name for a bookmobile, or is it a completely different thing?
We actually have a large bus for a bookmobile. We want to add a second outreach vehicle. It'll be a sprinter-sized vehicle. It's going to be kind of a cartmobile. The concept is we'll have carts to roll off for lobbies at schools and senior centers, computer carts to roll off to do remote trainings, things of that nature.
That's great.
Lots of digital signage integrated so we can advertise through the Communico. We are one of the libraries that are Communico.
One of the first libraries.
Yeah, we want to display Communico on mobile vehicles throughout the community. The concept of how Communico works really, I can't tell you how excited my staff is.
Great.
And we want Communico to be rolling throughout the town too. So
That's great. I would love to hear.
That's great to hear, yeah.
Anyone else? Okay. Item 12, agenda building for the next Rails board meeting.
Well, I already mentioned a number of things we'll be talking about in November throughout the report. As you know, chiefly, I would say the Burr Ridge
Right, and that's going to be on Friday, November 18th.
Yes, it's a week early, I guess.
Week
because of-
early.
Right, Thanksgiving. And that is the main site will be Burr Ridge, so that we will all kind of hunker down for the winter.
Mr. President, I will not be there. I will be on my way to Disney World.
Oh,
well, enjoy.
And I will miss as well. My wife and I will still be on a cruise in the Mediterranean.
Okay.
We will be thinking about all this.
Oh, yeah.
You could be reading the report, the packet as you...
Right.
On the deck.
We can Skype you guys in if you.
Well, and just so, you know, we're not going to be voting on anything related to the renovation. We just want to inform you guys, so we'll try to get it out sooner so you can take a look at it. And I'll get you the answers to the questions. Yep, of course.
Okay. Well then, there's one last thing on the agenda.
There is?
Yes. Item 13. I'll entertain a motion.
I will make a motion that we adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Scott seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Oh, well.
I think that was definitely the short.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
That was a short.
Bye, everyone.
Nice quick meeting, Dave. Good job.
If you just